Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Beautifully Unfiltered podcast. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. And wherever you're listening from right now, I want to invite you to slow down for a few moments and simply be here. Today's episode is called Why We Need Wonder. Let me start with a question. When was the last time something made you stop and say, "Wow"? Not because it was expensive, not because it was popular, not because it was impressive, but because it genuinely filled you with a sense of wonder. Maybe it was a beautiful sunset, a sky full of stars, a child's question, a piece of music, a book that changed the way you think. Or maybe it's been so long that you can't remember. And if that's the case, you're not alone. Because somewhere between childhood and adulthood, many of us slowly lose our sense of wonder. When we're young, the world feels magical. Everything is new, everything is interesting, everything is worth exploring. Children ask questions constantly. Why is the sky blue? How do birds fly? Where does the moon go during the day? Why do leaves change color? Their curiosity seems endless. They don't worry about sounding silly. They don't care if they already know the answer. They simply want to understand. They want to discover. They want to explore. And because of that, the world feels alive. But as we grow older, something changes. Life becomes busier. Schedules become fuller. Responsibilities become heavier. We become focused on deadlines, bills, obligations, and routines. And without realizing it, we begin paying less attention. We stop asking questions. We stop exploring. We stop noticing. Not because the world has become less interesting, but because we've become distracted. The truth is, the world is still just as fascinating as it was when we were children. We simply look at it differently. Think about it. Every person you meet is carrying an entire life story you know almost nothing about. Every city has hidden histories. Every tree has survived storms. Every photograph captures a moment that can never happen again. Every night sky contains stars that have traveled unimaginable distances just to reach your eyes. That's extraordinary. Yet most days we walk past these wonders without giving them a second thought, because we've become accustomed to them. And familiarity can sometimes make incredible things feel ordinary, but wonder doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for us to slow down, to pay attention, to become curious again. You see, wonder isn't about finding something extraordinary. It's about seeing ordinary things with fresh eyes. It's noticing the way sunlight moves across a room. It's hearing birds sing in the morning. It's watching rain fall against a window. It's listening to a story you've never heard before. It's asking questions instead of assuming you already know everything. Wonder begins the moment curiosity returns. And curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in the world. Curiosity is what drives discovery. It's what leads people to explore oceans, climb mountains, invent technologies, write books, create art, and seek answers. But curiosity doesn't only change the world, it changes us. Curiosity keeps us growing. It keeps us learning. It keeps us open-minded. It reminds us that there is always more to understand, more to discover, more to experience. One of the dangers of adulthood is believing we've already seen enough, that we've figured life out, that we know how things work. But life has a funny way of surprising us. The moment we think we've seen everything, something unexpected appears. A new friendship, a new opportunity, a new perspective, a new passion, a lesson we never expected to learn. And those surprises often begin with curiosity, with a willingness to remain open. Beautiful soul, wonder is not childish. In fact, I think it's one of the wisest things we can hold on to. Because wonder reminds us that life is bigger than our routines, bigger than our worries, bigger than our problems. It reminds us that there are still mysteries to explore and experiences waiting for us. Wonder creates gratitude, because when we truly notice things, we appreciate them more. Wonder creates humility, because it reminds us how much we still don't know. And wonder creates hope, because it reminds us that tomorrow may hold something beautiful we cannot yet see. Perhaps that's why we need wonder now more than ever. We live in a world filled with distractions. We're constantly scrolling, constantly consuming, constantly moving. And sometimes we're so busy documenting life that we forget to experience it. We rush from one thing to the next, always looking ahead, rarely looking around. But wonder asks us to pause, to slow down, to notice, to pay attention. Because life is not only found in the big moments, it's also found in the small ones. In a conversation, in a laugh, in a quiet morning, in a beautiful sky, in a simple moment that suddenly feels extraordinary because we chose to notice it. So today, I want to leave you with a challenge. Find one thing to be curious about, one thing to explore, one thing to notice, one thing to appreciate. Maybe it's something you've walked past 100 times. Maybe it's a question you've never asked. Maybe it's a hobby you've always wanted to try. Maybe it's simply taking a few moments to look at the world with fresh eyes. Because wonder isn't something we lose forever. It's something we rediscover again and again. And perhaps the world becomes a little brighter each time we do. If this episode resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who may need this reminder. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more real conversations about life, healing, growth, and self-worth. And if there's a topic you'd like me to talk about in a future episode, feel free to leave it in the comments below. And remember, the world is still full of wonder. The question is whether we're paying attention long enough to see it. Take care of yourself and be gentle with your journey. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. This is Maya from Beautifully Unfiltered Podcast.